Hello, welcome to Ryan and Brian Talk Sports with Niclarson. We're probably going to put his name into the before Talk Sports part if we actually find that he's worthwhile to be around. But for right now, he's just a little asterisk in this show we do
I
every
like
week.
the
And
Wow.
I like the plus edition on there. That
yeah,
was
it's a
it's a
plus.
good touch.
It was. I actually was up until 3 a.m. trying to
Yeah, it looks like you spent a lot of time on
work
it.
on the graphics. Yeah.
Why do I believe that?
Do you know Microsoft Paint just figured it out today? Great tool for any kind of
It is.
graphics. But as
I'm
always,
surprised more people
spons-
don't use it.
sponsors by Sleeper Picks and Pickett Sports. No, but we give them some shit. But it's actually nice to have Nick. Nick covered for Ryan last week, and
Thank you.
the media team at the GoldBoys liked it so much that they're trying to phase Ryan out. They're trying to make it this whole merger that like, oh, all three of us will have a show, but really it's a slow and painful process to
You weren't
get
supposed to
Ryan
say
out.
anything.
Yeah, well, I figured you would already assume what was going on here. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, the
it's
writing's been on the wall for a little while.
yeah, it's never a good sign when you miss one day at work and immediately they're like, you know what, this guy should be helping you guys out. This guy on the project might give you a little bump. And
I
speaking of
think I
bump,
got kicked off the
That's what this is for.
Dinger Tuesday show since I've never bet a home run play in
yeah,
my
Isn't
usually
that
life.
the
fun?
Digger
Isn't
Tuesday
that something?
shows the in hindsight, the Digger Tuesday shows with Niclarson that only bets on pitcher props was not like the best
Combination.
thing in the world, but maybe this show he finds a little home. But we appreciate that he's on here, and we hope he just takes a lot of the pressure off us because I actually hate doing the show each week. So if I can cut my time talking in like by a third, that'd be a wonderful thing.
Shut up. Just ridiculous. Oh man, what's going on, everybody? It's nice to be back. Thanks, Niclarson, for covering for me last week. Helps a lot. But yeah, beautiful slate. I liked it a lot. When I woke up today, I thought we had a pretty nice slate for Monday. We're kind of cursed with shit slates a lot of the time, so I think we have a decent amount to talk about here, and hopefully some banger picks. I mean, having Nick here is awesome. So we should have a little bit more variety for everybody, some more ideas, and Nick is like he scopes out value plays better than pretty much anybody I've come across. So should be an awesome show.
Yeah, and someone in the chat we already have the first Brian's the worst in the chats. And I want
We
people to
like
know
that.
this, that
We like that.
if you come at me and say like, "Oh, Brian's the worst," I will be the first person to agree with you. It's really hard when people try to make fun of me in person because they'll just say things and I agree, and they never expect the person they're making fun of to agree with how shitty they are as a person. So I appreciate that, and I fully admit I'm the worst.
I mean, you did just follow me on Twitter, so you're not quite the worst. I do appreciate that.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Really nice.
So I mean, speaking about the whole having him on the bump and having Nick be here, how many plays do you have on your initial show here, Nick?
I have 2 official, but I'll probably have another
And
one.
then Ryan, how many do you have?
Griffin Canning getting canned brought me down to 2.
I didn't ask for excuses. I just asked for a number. So 2. So I came in here with a whopping 1 play because
So you're looking to get carried per usual.
I was looking to get carried because I was actually, as soon as I knew Nick was going to be on the show, I was like, hopefully Nick comes in with like 6 picks and I could just sit back and do nothing. So I only have the 1 for today, hoping that Nick would have 3 to 7 and he has 2. So we're just going to let Nick start. Nick can kick us off. So Nick, what's your
What
first
better way?
play?
My first play is I'm doing a PPD ladder with Glass now against the Yankees. I think it's a great spot for him. You can get, instead of, I think his line's 7.5, like minus 130-ish now. I got the 7 and win for plus money. I think he just matches up really good against that Yankees lineup. He's had really good success against Judge, Torres, LeMahieu as far as strikeouts. So I think, and also Brito starting for the Yankees, which I think the Rays will take to town pretty easy.
Yeah, it was Herman. It was Herman, and then he got scratched, which is also like it's almost like a lateral movement for this play. I mean, I don't really think either of those pitchers is a bad one to fade. But yeah, there's been some scratches. I do think that you're going to see that around the around the trade deadline. Is you're going to see some guys be scratched. So I'm actually at the point where one of the reasons I'm keeping a little bit lower volume too is for that exact reason. Not saying they're all going to be stretched, but if you're betting team totals or PPDs or other kind of plays, last thing you want is to be blindsided by a last minute scratch for the can you're thinking about facing being pulled out early.
I needed to touch on something. You said Herman, like German.
Herman.
How do we say Domingo Herman's name?
It's like Yogging from Anchorman.
He pronounces every player with an English name.
Yeah, you got to add the Yogging with the like an Anchorman. I always do that on the show. I always go soft J's and soft G's.
Soft G. Yeah.
I thought that was a thing we just did. I don't like to pronounce people's names correctly. I just like to go soft J, like Yogging.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
All right, Tone, I see you up there talking shit.
It keeps things light.
Sorry. Hey, Nick, go ahead and talk about your play, man.
Oh, I had one here. I'll give you a bonus play on this one, Brian, since you want an extra play. It probably moved now because I took it when what was his name? Herman? When Herman was still pitching.
Who knows?
I should have prefaced that, Nick, on the show that we oftentimes you have pronounced so many names wrong that I just kind of lean into it, and I don't think I even tried it anymore. I just try to make funny things. I think I called Galsman, I've called him Guzman. I just kind of make things up as I go, but I kind of forget that if you don't know what's going on as you're watching the show, it doesn't flow well. So I apologize for people that don't realize I just kind of have been making fun of Ryan for the last year and a half about how he talks.
I've been doing this market on DraftKings lately. It is pitcher to record the first strikeout. It's under pitcher props and then head to head. I have Glass now at plus 300 to record the first strikeout. So you need Tampa Bay to survive Brito's top of the first, which I like it better now with Brito because Herman can better strikeout guy. So for plus 300, I'll take a chance on that.
Yeah, and Brito's not really the guy that misses a whole lot of bats.
Right.
Yeah. We calling him Burrito.
Burrito is out. I was thinking burrito. Is that good? I think burrito works.
It works for me, man.
If you say it fast enough, it does kind of sound like burrito. It sounds like burrito. Yeah. All right. I like that. I like that play. I also think the Yankees are a good team to fade a lot of times. I mean, Dean Creamer even had some success against them yesterday, the Creamster. So I like to see that to start the game. The Creamster.
We are butchering this shit.
The Creamster was up yesterday. So Ryan, you have
what are we doing?
You have two plays, so you can go after Nick, and then I'll have a sandwich where I'll be the middle of a sandwich with my one play that I showed up with.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll actually I don't have much of a write up on this one because I just added it 8 seconds before the show. But it was a number I wanted. It's a number I wanted to jump on. So Griffin Canning was supposed to be the starter for the Braves. For the Angels against the Braves. It's now Chase Silseth. 2 starts ago, Chase Silseth got the Yankees. He had 10 strikeouts. The game prior to that, he had 8. That was in the minors, mind you. The most recent game, again, was in the minors. He pitched 7 innings, had 8 strikeouts. So a really nice leash. The strikeout numbers have been there. Granted, again, 2 of those 3 starts were in the minors, and 1 was against the minor league Yankees. But his numbers at 3.5 for minus 135 right now on DraftKings. That is a number, that's a number I'm really, really excited to hop on there. So, the Braves are a pretty scary team to fade. I was actually going to anyway with Canning, but I think I like this 3.5 even more, although, we will be drinking some juice on this one. But I looked at a couple minutes ago. There was no line on FanDuel. There was nothing on Bet365, so I'm not sure what books have him out, but I do know DraftKings does. So I went ahead and locked in him for over 3.5 strikeouts at minus 135. Assuming it hasn't moved.
Nick, do you have any thoughts on that? Because I always zone out whenever Ryan talks. So if you have anything to add to that.
He's a guy who throws a slider a lot, which is good against guys like Acuna and Ozuna. And then you have Olsen, who's probably good for at least 1, if not 2 strikeouts. I was hoping it was gonna drop on FanDuel. We still have a little time, but I was gonna
I'll let you know.
Throw something like 6 strikeouts and then the Braves to win and see if you get any weird correlation. Because I still think the Braves can beat him, but I think he can get 5 to 6 strikeouts against this
Yeah,
team.
I wonder if we miss an opportunity sometimes with some of these teams that just win despite striking out a lot, where you can kind of get those reverse correlation PPDs because the Braves can
Yeah,
strike out
I had
10 times in a
example. I
game.
had Singer against the Twins. I took his 9 strikeouts and the
What a beautiful play.
Twins to win,
Yeah.
and which was plus 3,000, and he had 10. And then my boy for the Twins came in and gave up a grand slam to Witt, and they lost. So it's a good play at the beginning, but
Awful stuff.
Yeah,
I would've
well,
lost
I
sleep.
didn't realize Morton's strikeout line is 7.5. I get it's the Angels, but that is, I mean,
they got their new guys in tonight too. I think they have
yeah,
Crone and Gerchik, whoever they traded for.
Yeah.
the Crone Zone, baby, yeah. But,
They are. Oh, I don't know yet.
I don't know. Was there a lineup put out? Because like I might have missed it. I
I
haven't.
just saw a projected lineup that had those 2 guys in it.
Plate IQ has a lineup, but they're only showing 7 people. They're missing the 3rd spot and the 7th spot for whatever odd reason. So I gotta check.
Bold strategy.
Yeah,
They're playing with
they have
7
a
tonight.
7-man lineup. It's pretty interesting way to do it.
Man, I was actually funny because we talked about it in the 1 o'clock show too. Is I missed on it last time because he decided to chase every pitch out of the zone on a 4-pitch walk. But the idea of taking Ohtani for a walk, like to record a walk as a batter, but I just realized that's minus 130. That's crazy. Minus 130 to record a walk. It's probably gonna happen, but I don't know if I can get behind that at like those kind of juice. But yeah, Charlie Morton definitely likes to walk a lot of players. So definitely a good look. Maybe a parlay piece if you're into that. But I think minus 130 is just such a wild thing to think about. Even though he does almost like every other game at this point. So it's not a bad play even with the juice, but I can't get behind that.
Yeah, I'd like to see this Angels lineup. Finesse the Books, thank you. He did confirm, and I just checked. Crone is 3 and Grichuk is 7. So both the new guys are in. Now Crone is a strikeout target, but he's not god off. He's like a 23. He's probably an average target. Grichuk is actually like I hate that he's getting added to that lineup because I've been loving fading the Angels lately. He's a really tough guy to strike out. So I'm not that quick to jump on this especially a 7.5 line versus the Angels. I think a new look team here is going to blossom, and I still think there'll be a nice target for strikeouts. But this almost feels like it's priced based off the lineup that they were putting out yesterday rather than today.
Yeah, and I mean, save the best for the middle. I have a play today, which it revolves around 2 things. I'm fading 2 people that I'm comfortable fading. And we've talked about it before. I've had success. I hate using the word juice reducer, but at the end of the day, it kind of is what it is. When you bet these, juicier lines and you pair them with a player to not record a win. So the person I have to not record a win is Jake Irving. It's minus like 500, but I just don't think that's a good spot for him. His outs are 16.5. I think he might go under that. The Brewers' offense is terrible, but I just don't think. Yeah, Nick's a big Brew Crew guy over there. But yeah, I just don't think that.
Santana, ever heard of him? What a huge addition!
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. He's gonna bring that average up. Actually, probably bring it down a little bit, but I think it's not a lefty, which is big against the Brewers because at least against righties, the Brewers at least can look like a competent offense, and it's an Irving versus Corbin Burns matchup. And my big thing is Corbin Burns just gets so many decisions, whether he is on or off. I mean, he just pitches really well on the road, and I just think he's not going to be in a position where he's going to allow more than 2 runs, which should limit Irving's chances to even get a chance to record a win. And then I'm fading Noah Syndergaard for the Cleveland Guardians. I am taking the Houston Astros over 2.5 runs in the first 5 innings.
You're going against your own rule, so
yeah, I know. But like, here's the thing: if I bet on the Guardians and they screw me, it's kind of funny at this point because I don't know, that team never makes any sense to me. But I'm avoiding it in this way. How about this, Nick? I'm not taking a PPD against them or for them. I don't care if they win or lose this game. I just need 3 runs in the first 5 from the Astros, which means errors count. Cinderblock just being
Stolen
awful
bases.
counts, stalling bases. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot that can go right. Syndergaard's over under in earned runs is 160. It's minus 160 for over 2.5. The first 5 is 2.5 minus 140. I don't even hate paying that. I've just been playing a lot more plus money stuff, and I just think it's one of those things where Syndergaard hasn't pitched in almost 2 months, but he was allowing a hit per like 12 pitches. He's allowed 3 or more earned runs in 9 of his 12 starts this year. I don't know if a longer rehab stint after injury is going to solve all of his issues. Some people come off injuries and they have their rest and they look way better. But it didn't look like an injury thing for him. It just looked like he just does not have it anymore. And now he's got to fill Aaron Savali's shoes in that rotation.
Yikes.
Not a good looking spot for him. And I mean, Houston's healthier. They get Tucker. I mean, they have Tucker there. They have Altuve. They have Jordan back in the lineup. And
The lineup's looking good, man.
The lineup's looking a lot better. And I mean, he doesn't strike people out. He's like bottom 5th percentile in strikeouts. If you give me this strong, like back to almost full strength Houston lineup against Syndergaard, and I need 3 runs, I think I'm very comfortable laying the juice if you want to, or finding a way to play it some way, somehow, because it was plus 104 when I played it. And he's going to pound the zone, and he's not going to have a lot of stuff that breaks and fools people. This offense, I wouldn't be surprised if they put this up like in the first 2 or 3 innings.
Yep, I'm not mad at you there at all. Not one bit.
My next 2 kind of go in with what you just said. Same market, the first pitcher record first strikeout. I took Corbin Burns plus 205 against your boy Jake Irvin. If the Brewers can just survive the top of the first inning, Irvin has had some decent strikeout numbers, but I mean, once again, you're just taking that chance. I think if you get out of the first inning, Burns is going to get at least 1 strikeout in the bottom of the inning.
Yeah.
So I took that solo, and then I parlayed 2 of them together and used my 50% DraftKings boost. I took Lugo to have the first strikeout against the Rockies. He's going against Austin Gomber. And then I took your guy Syndergaard to have the first strikeout against JP France. Cleveland just doesn't strike out. They're like, I think they're first and
it's like 16% a year. It's wild.
So, yeah. So if he can, I mean, he might even get chances for 2 innings to get a strikeout. So
yeah.
Parlay together, it's plus 961 for those 2. So
and to kind of harp a little bit more on Nick making fun of me for never betting on the Guardians because they always seem to screw both of us, but I almost played the plus money. It's plus 100 for the double result for the Astros. I really do think JB France is like weirdly good this year, and I really wanted to play it that way. But as you kind of mentioned, that every time I bet the Guardians to win, they lose. If I trust their offense, they get no hit. If I bet the team to lose, they always win like 9-0. So I think playing the just fading the Syndergaard matchup is the way to play it for me.
And if you notice there, I broke every rule, so hopefully it works. I went against the Rockies and then for Cleveland. Yeah. So what could go wrong?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ryan, take us home here. This is actually wait, did Nick give? Yeah, you did, right? Yeah. So it's off to Ryan.
Yeah. So the reason I'm drinking today at 5 p.m. is because I'm betting on Edward Cabrera, and not only am I betting on Edward Cabrera, I'm laddering Edward Cabrera. We're really going for it here. We're going to risk 1.5 units on the most erratic guy in the league, and I truly can't wait.
The good news is you either are in a good spot or he has like 40 pitches in the first inning, and you can just go to bed. Like
we'll
I'm at the point
here.
Yeah,
you could hedge with his walk ladder too, just to be safe.
Yeah, never about.
And there's gray area for both there.
Yeah, I know this is probably one of the more erratic starters in the league. There's no really getting around that. However, I found some comfort in his home numbers. The matchup's just nice, man. I mean, as you know, Philly fan, I know this team pretty damn well at this point, which I am a little disappointed Castellanos isn't in the lineup. I would have really loved to see him in the 2-hole, but the lineup is still very easy to take advantage of here. So coming off like a joke of a start against Tampa, he pitched 2 innings against Tampa, and they yanked him because he was just so bad. But I'm going to buy the dip on a 5-5 line. I think it's minus 115 right now on DraftKings. This isn't really a guy you get a 5-5 line in these kind of spots in often. So I'm willing to take the risk. His downfall has been location, and when he's not on, it gets really ugly. But when he is, I mean, good God, I mean, the guy's potential is through the roof. 78th percentile in K rate, 87th percentile in whiff rate, 78th percentile in chase rate. He's been very much better at home this season. He's got a 2.61 ERA at home, 6.28 ERA on the road. At home, he has a 33.3% K rate. Now, his walk rate is still ass, don't get me wrong, but his 12.7% walk rate at home is a lot better than his 15.4% walk rate on the road. So I think we can work with that 12.5%, especially with a 33.3% K rate. Edwards a little bit better versus lefties as far as strikeouts are concerned. His K rate versus lefties is 29.7%. Versus righties is 28.1%, which is something I always look for versus Phillies, since they usually throw 5 guys in the lineup, which they did again today. Phillies just becoming one of the best matchups in the league. I mean, again, Castellanos, I would have loved to have seen him in this lineup, but there's still plenty of guys that we can target here. We're now, I believe, 4th in strikeouts per game. They're much worse on the road, or better in our favor, if you will. They average 9.7 strikeouts per game on the road and only 8.38 at home. So a pretty drastic difference in their road. In their road numbers. On the road versus righties this month, they have a 27.7% K rate. So that's just so bad. That's unbelievable as a team to have that. So I don't know. I'm excited about this play. I mean, like Brian said, I think Brian said it, maybe it was Nick, but we'll know by the end of the first inning if this really stands a chance. But I mean, this guy's absolutely electric. I'm going to trust that the staff down in Miami that kind of have gotten him right. It's not the first time they had an absolutely terrible start, and he's bounced back from them, fairly frequently this season. So I guess unit breakdown, I'm going 1 unit on the 5.5. And then I'm actually going to skip 7, which is kind of an odd move, but it's only like plus 180 or something like that. So like, I don't want to lay too much of the units that I'm willing to risk on that. I'd rather just jump up to 8. I'm going to put 0.24 on 8 strikeouts, 0.16 on 9 strikeouts, and 0.1 on 10 strikeouts. So equals out to 1.5 total units risk on Edward Cabrera versus my Phillies.
Thank God you did the math for me, because I was so lost of what that added up to. I do like that, and I want to go full Niclarson here, and I'm going to lay a quarter unit on Kyle Schwarber. First at bat, I'm going to bet strikeout and walk.
Great.
And
love it.
As long as one of them works, or he hits a home run, and I'm happy as a fan. It's really a win-win-win until he grounds out to third. So
you're not going first pitch homer?
I could do that. I could do everything. I could do everything. You know what? I'm gonna spend like 6 units on just one at bat, and then no matter what the scenario happens, I'm gonna lose money.
You'll win something.
I won.
Yeah, but you're gonna lose money, but you're gonna win a bet, and sometimes it's nice to go through the hoop,
Until he gets hit by a pitch, and then it's like it doesn't cover any of the things I had, and then I have to go cry. But pitch I like that. Violation. Yeah, pitch clock violation. What do they score that as? Yeah. I like that.
Scared money doesn't make money, so we're gonna take some risks tonight, man. We're not fucking around. It's Monday. We're gonna get this week started off with like 4 unit win on Edward Cabrera. I'm feeling it right now.
He still holds a special place. He hit a full ladder for me his big league debut, so I like
nice.
Cabrera.
That's awesome. Last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy to watch, because he can be really frustrating, because I put him in the same category as some of these high flying pitchers that can throw hard, but they don't have the control. Like same with like Dylan Cease and some of these other guys, where if you have their strikeouts, they're up 0-2. You're like, all right, just get a whiff, and then all of a sudden it's a 6-pitch walk, and you just don't even know where you went wrong in your life and all the decisions that happened to get you to where you are right now. But yeah, this is a team that the Phillies went on a hot streak. They were one of the hottest teams in baseball for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then they just hit a wall the last week and have not looked good.
Yeah, let's fade them. Since they caused me so much pain, maybe I can use that pain and
that's a good move,
channel it into some wealth or something.
Probably not. Probably won't do that, but I'm glad that you have the hope. So
yeah, that's all that matters.
If anyone's listening, just tuning in, bet the Phillies to win today, because Ryan needs them to do bad. So that probably means they're going to score like 6 runs in the first inning.
The Phillies will disappoint me any way they can. So
yeah, so just keep that in mind. I will throw this in because I kind of went through all the 5 plays we had. I'm going to throw in something I put together actually on the 1 p.m. show with Will, because we're talking about different futures. I put 0.2 units on a parlay on FanDuel at plus 600 for the Guardians to win the division with the Orioles to win the division. They're both like plus 130, and then the Guardians are plus 190. That was before the Savali trade, but I also think that they can still work around it. I just don't think the Twins are that much better than the Guardians to be 0.5 games up. And I know they have the tiebreaker on them, but I don't know if they're worth like laying 200, like minus 200 or so uh on these lines where I think it's very very even in terms of these two teams in that division. And then the Orioles are up a game and a half, and the Rays have looked like trash the last 30, 40 games. So I'll take the risk on that. It's like 0.2 to win like I think it's like 1.4 units I'd win or something like that. So I think it's a good look.
Fun thing to sweat the rest of the year as well.
Yeah, I think it gives you rooting interest. You don't really have to spend much money on it, and it makes you a weird Guardians / Orioles fans. Except for tonight, they can lose tonight. The Guardians, or they can win like 9-7 or something. That'd be fun.
Somebody asked about big board plays. I think Alan's going to be dropping it in the Discord here shortly, but I'll give out one. Jalen Duran leading off against I think it's Kirby tonight.
Yeah, sure is.
He's usually around the plate, and he swings at just about anything that's close. So take it for extra base hit, single, and in play out.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Would you say that's your favorite one of the night, or do you even gauge them like that?
Probably my favorite. Usually, like, if you can get a lefty against a righty, that's usually around the play. If you get that lefty righty or righty lefty, good matchup.
Yeah,
it kind of helps.
Yeah, I like that look a lot. I don't think George Kirby's thrown a ball all year or something like that. Some crazy stuff. The dude's fucking incredible.
He's Kirby's true. Like me playing MLB The Show, where I'm just going to throw everything in the zone because why waste pitches? Life's too short to waste pitches in video games. So
there you go.
That's where I'm at.
I'm not mad at that.
And then we can kind of move on into the Pickett popular plays we have here because we were pretty efficient. I think Nick almost
Hold up, big guy.
Didn't you give your other play?
No, we're not done yet.
What do you mean? You had 2, right?
I have 3.
Oh, he added the Sill set.
I added.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna pull that shit on me. All right.
Yes, I am. However, this one I'm gonna lead with probably the most important information of all of this. This has pretty big rain potential, so take that for what you will. I honestly am kind of thinking this game just goes ahead and gets rained out. Well, we'll see. I'm still gonna throw it out there. You guys can, use your best discretion. You can even wait to try to get a better weather report. I actually locked this one in last night, so it's, I guess, a little bit of the price you paid trying to get the early lines. But I am going to play Seth Lugo over 5.5 strikeouts. Plus odds pretty much anywhere. Last time I checked, it was plus 118 on FanDuel. I'm not sure exactly where it is right now, but it's a nice plus odds look pretty much anywhere you go. He's been kind of my secret weapon over the past 6 weeks. He keeps getting really playable lines and nice matchups, and he's capitalizing pretty well. Over the last 30 days, he's got a 3.70 ERA with 26 Ks and 24.1 innings. He's got a 23.4% K rate, which is very slightly above average, but pretty good percentage for sure. He doesn't waste very many pitches. After watching Edward Cabrera tonight, we really needed a guy in the 93rd percentile walk rate to just kind of hone us back in and get our sanity back. He's got
Can't wait until he has like 2 walks in the first inning and you're losing your mind.
That would be so awful. He's got a nice leash. He's gone 5.1 innings in 5 straight starts. They're cool, letting him throw close up to 100. He only threw 84 last game, but that's because he pitched 7 innings and they ripped him for the 8th. You always have your Coors Field concerns, but I don't know. I for the longest time I faded Coors games and just kind of ignored it and acted like those games didn't exist. And I'm just every night I feel like I go to the box score and I see these guys who had really advantageous lines just strike out guys almost as normal as they would in any other park. I know sliders don't break quite as much, curveballs don't break quite as much, but when you look at this lineup, man, and especially now that Cron's gone, and especially Grichuk gone, this lineup is a fucking disaster, dude. So I'm not really going to hesitate to fade this lineup at Coors the rest of this year. Even, despite all of the concerns that they have and with their home field advantage, they still have a 25.2% K rate versus righties at home in July, and that's with Crone and Grichuk. I suspect that gets much worse without them. Again, especially Grichuk. So I mean, this is just a lineup I'm excited to fade. Lugo's been really consistent. He pitches pretty well. He's got a nice leash. He's strikeout numbers have been there. He's on a nice trend. So I didn't really hesitate at plus odds to grab him over 5.5. But like I said, I'll kind of reiterate, run back through it. Whether it's quite a large concern, I'd almost bet that they don't even play this game tonight. But we'll see. I had all written out, so I figured I'll go ahead and give the play despite the weather concerns. But I'm going to leave it up to you to kind of determine. You could easily just wait. I don't think it's going to go to minus odds at any time. So you could definitely wait until 8:30 to try to decide if we're going to get a game in here tonight. All right. Go ahead, Brian. I'm done.
Jeez. So Ryan's finally stopped talking, so we can finally move to, as Ryan was saying, the Rockies lineup is a disaster, just like the show is with all three of us. But I do think we still wrapped
Wouldn't
up
have
a
it
nice
any other
bow.
way.
So, Nick, if you're not aware, because I know for a fact you've never watched the show in your entire life, so and I get that, but we do this thing with our sponsor where we talk about the three most bet players on the Pickett Sports app. So
Right.
we're
Never
gonna
watched it, but I was on it last week. So
yeah, well, actually, that was the least watched show of all time. Not just this show, just every
makes
show
sense.
that ever exists. People
Makes
ran away
sense.
from you. They find you scary. I don't know what it is, but they find you scary. But then they find you so monotone that it's like a weird, like they can't be scared and feel powerful at the same time.
So they're just
It freaks people
confused,
out.
basically.
Yeah, they're just really confused. And kicking it off is George Kirby as the first person. The most bet prop is his under 1.5 walks.
That's so funny. I love that.
Usually I like to agree with the Pickett community, but now that Ryan just openly admitted to how little he walks, I think this is a curse, and I think he's going to have at least 3 walks.
Nope.
Ryan,
dude, he's automatic. He's
automatic. So my question is, his most bet prop on the entire board for Pickett Sports app is his under 1.5 walks. What is the juice on that? That's got to
like
be
minus 210.
Yeah, it's still so playable.
I've never seen the Pickett community or like gambling Twitter or anything.
Parlay it with something.
Yeah, I've never seen everyone be that in tune with a juicy prop like that. So
I usually use it like you use the no win thing. I just I'll throw it in with like Arias not to strike out to get a better.
Yeah. That's what I was just about to compare it to. I mean, it's even better than that at this point.
Yeah.
I think it's missed once all year and 3 starts ever.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, just incredible stuff.
One game they moved it to 0.5, and then it was a little more interesting.
Yeah, that's a sweat right there. Good luck.
Yeah,
it's hard to hate, man. So, guy's automatic.
I'll move on to the second person, but in the chat, people are saying I'm jealous. I don't get jealous because I was actually hoping when Nick was going to join the show, it meant I could leave the show. I have nothing of jealousy to be here. I would just prefer to not be here. So I'm not jealous. I'm salty that when I thought we'd have 3, it meant I'd be out and you guys would just kind of run the show from here. So I'm just a little upset.
So now I'm on here and you still have to do the show. So it's like
it's a double. It's a double whammy. Yeah. So the next player, Ronald Acuna Jr., which is very rare. I don't think there's often players this high up in terms of the batting side of things. A lot of it is pitching for the Pickett community, and his most bet things is his total bases, which I'm guessing is 1.5. I would imagine.
I'd imagine.
And the people are betting his double, which I think is so funny, and I like the idea of that you can bet doubles, triples, and whatnot there. Which I actually think that if you bet more doubles and home runs, you'd probably have a lot more profit. So people are betting the bases, hits, home runs, stolen bases, and runs. So there's a lot of love for Ronald Acuna Jr. He's just been amazing this year, which me and Ryan had talked about that one time that Ohtani was the first bet player by a far margin. Sometimes if you bet the best players in the game, you can't really have much to talk down about it because they're just that good. I mean, they're just on that different level.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I have no issues with this. I may have even liked it a little bit more against Canning, which I'm sure most people locked it in, but I have no hesitations for Silseth here either. I mean, the dude's just incredible. I mean, I think the craziest thing about him is, I mean, he used to be a pretty good target for strikeouts, and then he just turned into a guy that does not strike out at all, which is it's just mind blowing. I think over the last 30 here, I don't even have to think. 7.8% K rate over the last 30 days is just absolutely absurd. And that's Luis Arias territory.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible, man. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And then last person on this list is Nick's crew friend, Corbin Burns. But I honestly don't hate it. But the most bet prop is under 6.5 strikeouts. I do think that the Nationals are such a tough matchup. I was actually looking at a way to back him. Outside of the fact, like if his outs was 17.5, it was my first look to bet the over on that and pair with something. But he did get a 8.5 line, 18.5. I mean, 17.5 is what I was looking for outs. I don't know. I actually don't hate an under 6.5 for Corbin Burns against this Nationals team, but it was like minus 180 when it opened. So that's the only thing. I don't know if I would play it with that much juice because it was never really at an even line. So I think I would want to see is like a minus 120 range.
Yeah, he's tough because if his cutter's going, he could blow through that lineup, but his control hasn't been there. He's been, I don't know, getting behind guys a lot. But then he has those starts where he'll just 12 strikeouts. So
yeah, I also think it's worth mentioning that. Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning too that in this sport, sometimes all the data, all the things can point to an under. Like, oh, the last 7 righties went under, the last their strikeout rate, and sometimes you just get a guy with the talent that Corbin Burns has, and he's just on, and all that can almost go out the window. Or, this, that, the other. Sometimes baseball can just be a sport where, everything checks all the right boxes, and then the better player or the guy that's on just ends up taking over.
Yeah, sometimes a good pitcher doesn't care what your strikeout rate is if their stuff is working.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, you kind of, if you want to bet Burns today, like if you're feeling over, you just kind of have to bet it and cross your fingers that he's just feeling that cutter and was it his? I think it was a slider against the Phillies or something like that.
Yep.
He just generated like, I think almost all of his strikeouts were on that slider. I mean, he was just ripping that lineup to shreds. I think he had like a 60 or 50% whiff rate on that pitch all day long. So, I mean, you just kind of have to cross your fingers and hope that he's just on. But I don't know what the Nats do to scout these guys, but I don't think they care about anything in the world other than making contact because it's impeccable. I mean, this is just unbelievable. The second worst K rate in this lineup is 18.9%.
And they don't have a bad average. They just have no pop. They're
zero pop.
Their average to runs has to be near the worst in the league. There's no way. I don't have the stats with me, but whenever I check their average compared to the league and I see RISP average and I see base runners converted and I see all these other advanced stats, I'm always just thinking, man, they really are so good at just bloop singles, no strikeouts, double plays, and then get out of the inning. It's crazy how well they can do that.
They need 3 hits to score somebody on that team almost.
Yeah,
3 hits in an inning.
Maybe a walk's in there or something like that. Yeah, they need something.
None of them walk either.
None of them walk.
The first pitch. It feels like I don't know.
TJ Abrams there.
I was definitely a little tempted to at least give Burns over 18.5 outs at plus 110 a look. He doesn't usually go, all the way to the 7th, and I didn't think the juice was worth the squeeze for 18.5. If it was a little bit better odds, like in the 150 range, I would look into it. But yeah, this team, as you said, they don't strike out, which also means they don't work the count a whole lot at times. And yeah, I could see him going over that, but I couldn't play it at even money.
Yeah, not a soul on this team walks. The combined K rate for tonight's lineup is 15.8%, which is just absurd. The combined walk rate is 5.7%, which too is very absurd. The combined ISO is 117. This lineup's crazy, dude. It just ground out after ground out, and a couple will sneak through for singles. I don't know. This is one of the most bizarre teams I've ever seen.
The last 30 days against righties.
Scouting other than making contact.
The last 30 days against righties, Washington has an even 6% walk rate against righties. That's not necessarily good. Actually, someone called that bad. It's the worst in the league. So that is interesting to see. So, like I said, if there was better juice on that, I would have played it, but there's just not. So I think we can end it there if we want to just recap our plays and kind of go do round robin. Everyone can share their 3, 2, 1 of plays.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Ron, you want to start first with the most plays out of both of us, or all three of us?
Yeah, sounds good. So to start, I went Chase Silseth over 3.5 strikeouts, minus 135 on DraftKings. You can kind of hold off on that and see where other books open. I'd imagine it only gets worse, but I wouldn't guarantee it. And then I have Edward Cabrera's ladder, so I went 1 unit on 5.5 strikeouts. Then I took 8, 9, 10 as well, and I split 0.5 units among those 3 bets. And then my last bet is Seth Lugo over 5.5 strikeouts, which is plus money pretty much anywhere you want to look.
Love it. It's a great honor to say, Nick. Would you want to recap your 2 shitty plays you gave out earlier?
It's more than 2, but yeah, I will.
Well, it was 2, and then you added some sprinkles and some whatever. It was 2 main
enough.
plays.
I was like, fine, I'll give you a couple extra.
No, Nick is actually as bad as I thought this was going to go. He's exceeded on my expectation, and he's been great. So we appreciate you being on here. So what are your 2 plays plus the bunch of sprinkles you added as you were talking?
So Glass now PPD against the Yankees and Burrito.
There you go.
You gotta say quicker. Say quick.
Burrito.
Yeah.
6 strikeouts and a win was plus 101. And then also with Glass now, I took him to record the first strikeout plus 300. I have Corbin Burns to record the first strikeout in that game plus 205. And then I parlayed first strikeout of Syndergaard and Lugo and used my 50% DraftKings boost, and that is plus 961.
Love it. And I came in prepared for the show today. I had 1 play, and I paired Jake Irving to not record a win with the Houston Astros over 2.5 earned runs. Just like that price. It's plus 104 on DraftKings. If you wanted to play any other way, I actually like any way to back the Houston Astros team in terms of scoring today. It's just weird because some books offer certain markets that others don't. Like DraftKings has the first 5. No one else is brave enough to actually put those kind of lines out there. So anyway, you can play the Astros. I like that. And we had some good talks. I mean, we learned about Burrito, which is funny because Ryan would appreciate this. It's the same thing with when the Eagles had Jim Schwartz. I never called him that. I would just call him Jim Schwartz, and no one else would ever notice that I was just saying Jim Schwartz. So the same with Burrito. It just like if you say it fast enough, it just kind of works. So I do think that there's some things where you can have mini adventures in your head. They call that schizophrenia. So I appreciate you guys being on. As always, Ryan's been great. Yeah, Ryan's always been my guy. I get to meet Ryan on Saturday in person in real life.
That's a fact.
What are the people that only work online as random people, just IRL, right? In real life, like that's how they separate things because they're too invested into online friends. So I get to meet him in real life. Niclarson, I'm gladly never gonna probably meet in my entire life.
Not.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot my big board pick too.
Oh, what's your big board pick? You want to just ruin the whole flow of the show, please? Yeah. Yes, let's do that. Let's add that in at the show.
Jalen Duran, and then I'll give you CJ Abrams first pitch, extra base hit, single, in play out.
Awesome. And as a new guy, remember our sponsors, Nick, are Sleeper Picks and Pickett Sports. You can sign us out. You gotta do the sign out. So Ryan usually has a big radio voice he does. So just take a second and prepare, and then you're signing us out.
1,000. Is that good?
Yeah, it's up to you, man. You're the one who has to do it. Yeah.
Real good.
All right. Thank you guys for watching tonight. Along with me with Brian versus the Books, who followed me on Twitter. Very proud of him for growing up a little bit. And then nice to meet Ryan for the first time in video person. And thank you to Tone for producing. And tune in next week. We'll be back with some more picks. And you guys have the daily show tomorrow, right?
Yes, we do. And if anyone's ever free during the weirdest time, 1 p.m. on the weekdays, come visit us. We talk about sports. We usually just say things we can't say on this show because there's too many people that watch it. So it's always a good time.
All right. See you guys.